Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to another speed build. This house that I'm building here today was based off of an idea that I got from simply seeing the room of a YouTuber. Which that sounds kind of weird, but that's why I started with one side of the house first instead of the entire base of the house like I usually would. And this isn't meant to be an exact replica of her house or her room like in any way, shape, or form, but her room was what gave me the total inspiration for this house at all in the first place. So the YouTuber in question for this house that I'm making, that it's based off of is Katie Steckley. I hope I said her last name right. But basically I just wanted a very homey, slight nature vibe for this house since that's kind of how I saw her house. Like you can kind of see her living room in the background of some of her videos, but I also saw her bedroom in the background, which like I said is where I got the inspiration in the first place. But, I feel like her home would be very, cozy also. So I'm building a guest room in this house because I didn't want it to just be like a small house, but I also didn't want it to be like a very big house either, since it just I just felt like it would be a two-bedroom house rather than just a one-bedroom house. I don't know why, but that's just how I felt about it. I also did something that I never really do in builds ever. And you're gonna see it here shortly. Off to the side, beside this bathroom right here, there's actually going to be a closet. And I've never actually made a closet like this, even though I've seen them in real life before. But the closet in this build really was something that I was happy to try out because I've never done it before. And I feel like since I've started making speed builds, I've become more comfortable with the idea of trying new styles of houses. And I feel like I say that in every video, but it really is true and I really do mean it. A lot of my older builds are really, really, really bad. I know that my current builds aren't really all that great, but my older builds are super bad. And it's just they all look the same. There's usually a lot of big empty space. And while I know that there tends to be space in these builds still, there's definitely not as much space as there used to be. I literally used to have a house that was like a hallway of emptiness. There was just big spaces of emptiness for no reason other than the fact that I was scared of it being too cluttered and too close together and all these different things. But I feel like in this house, it's definitely less spacious in the sense that it's meant to be kind of closer together and give the first home vibe or even an apartment vibe, really. I don't think you would see something like this in an apartment, but maybe you would. You never know. I've never really seen an apartment that looks like this. I've seen some that are similar, but definitely not any that are exactly like this. I think I kind of want to experiment with more styles coming up soon. I want to try maybe a Victorian style house at some point. I definitely still do lean towards doing more modern houses and builds. So I do kind of want to branch out of that a little bit more because even though I have done a cottage build, I've actually technically done two cottage builds, but I've only uploaded one to YouTube, and then I have two of them on the gallery. So the one that I filmed for YouTube is on the gallery, but the original one is also on the gallery. And I don't think I've ever said what my gallery ID is, but it is what my old YouTube channel name was, which is The Eye Soup. And I can just link it down below. That way, you guys, if you are interested in ever downloading any of my creations, you can just go into the description and you will see my gallery link down there. So you can just see all my builds in one place because I definitely have not uploaded all of my builds to YouTube and I haven't uploaded all my builds to the gallery either. just because some of them I feel like aren't really good enough. um, I even some of these that I do on YouTube, I feel like aren't good enough. Also, look, I just noticed that they added light switches. And I was like so shook by this, especially since I was just thinking about light switches like right before I started building this house. It was so weird to me to see the light switch there, and I don't know if I never noticed or if they added it with an update, but yeah, I just feel like with every update though lately there's just been a bunch of issues and I got tired of it, which is kind of why I stopped playing The Sims for a while. I'm also really hesitant to get the like new Grow Together expansion pack that they're releasing I think in a couple of weeks now. Especially after seeing all of the things that high school years kind of had wrong with it and that being such a disappointment to people. It's just I'm super scared they're never gonna listen to us as players and they'll just keep putting out mediocre packs because they know that people will eat it up. They know people will keep buying it, and it's really sad. Like, I wish that it sounds really bad, but I do kind of wish that at least for a little bit of time that their sales would drop so maybe they would see that what they're doing is upsetting to everyone and they aren't gonna keep making money off of less than optimal packs. It's just, I feel like we should get our money's worth out of this, especially considering the amount of money that it costs to own all of like the packs in general. Like every single expansion pack, game pack, and whatever else. Like, I also still think the kits are such a like annoying idea. Okay, so with these four lights right here, also, I'm deleting two of them only because it just seemed way too bright, and I'm gonna add the two lights back in my own gameplay. Just for the sake of the build, I needed to delete them so it wasn't so bright. And in gameplay, you can just turn off the lights. So that's what I'm gonna do. If you do download this house, I suggest also just turning off two of the lights in that room and keeping the other two on. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, that aside, I am pretty excited to see the gameplay of that new pack, honestly. I haven't watched any of the like YouTubers that have early access do anything with it yet. I mostly want to see what it's going to be like once the closer to final product is about to come out. I'm also pretty excited about the upcoming Infants update. I think it's supposed to come out in, I think, a week from now. I'm not sure. But I think it's about a little bit over a week from now. But I'm super excited to be able to play with infants. I don't know if they're going to add any accessories, but I kind of hope that they add strollers. I think that would be super cute. Like, you could just go out and walk with your baby in a stroller. Like, if they can't give us cars, they can at least give us strollers. I mean, I personally am not super pressed for cars because I totally understand that it's because we don't have an open world really to play in. But I do think it would be pretty cool and would help a lot with building garages. Even if we just had cars for display, other than the little ones that you can put on like fireplaces and whatever. I think it would be super, super fun for building. Now, gameplay wise, I don't know how it would work exactly because I feel like they would just end up disappearing and then it would go into a loading screen and that would probably get pretty annoying. So I don't know how they would really do that. But I know a lot of people want cars, so good for them, I guess. I'm not against cars, and I do use cars when I play The Sims 3, but I I don't know that I would actually use that in The Sims 4 because even though you have the ability to use bikes and stuff in The Sims 4, I don't really use those bikes. Like, I've used bikes for decoration before, but I have never actually used them in the functional sense. But I am thinking about doing some playthroughs of all the packs that I have, just because I've never just sat down and played with all of the packs, like, individually, I guess. Like, I've never done a story based around those packs specifically. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna do that. If you would be interested in that, you should check it out if I ever do upload it. If I do, it will probably be in a playlist. Speaking of which, I did want to say this. Not that anyone really would notice. I don't have very many viewers, but I did recently private a lot of my challenge and like actual gameplay videos. And I have my reasons. One being that they were very long. Like a lot of my episodes, especially in the Not So Berry challenge, were pretty long. And it just seemed very inconvenient, especially since I am a smaller channel. No one is watching a 40-minute to an hour long video of me playing Not So Berry, because why would they? They don't know anything about me. I don't have a lot of viewers, so I guess that would kind of indicate that it's not something a lot of people are interested in. Or not even that people aren't interested in it, just from me, because I don't have a fan base and there's nothing that's really drawing people to it. So, but it's it's okay. Like, I am not upset about it. I feel like those videos were very cringy. I felt like there was a lot of dead air in those videos, and I try to avoid that, but I know that I cannot always avoid dead air. And even though I tried to edit it out, it still feels really, well, at least it felt really bad. I don't know what else to call it other than just simply bad. But I am gonna get back into posting more YouTube videos. So I hope that people will watch them. I think I'm gonna mostly focus on doing speed builds for now, and then as I kind of feel like I improve, then I'm gonna start doing more gameplay videos. That's not to say I'm not gonna do gameplay videos at all in the near future, but I'm gonna do less gameplay videos than I was doing before. So it might be more speed builds and like a little bit of gameplay here and there, just to kind of test the water, see what works, see what people are interested in from me. I feel like every YouTuber has their like niche, and everyone has their thing that people kind of watch them for. So, I just have to find what works for me. And if you are someone who's trying to start a YouTube channel, I think you should just try to find what works for you. There's no shame in just trying out different things. Like, even YouTubers that I watch, I'm totally not opposed to them just kind of testing the waters and seeing what works for them, because ultimately it's their YouTube channel and they need to be happy with what they are putting out. If they're not, then what's the point of them doing it? A side note, from like all of that, but back to the build. You might notice these cabinets above are very different from the counter cabinets, and that bothers me so badly. But for some reason, they don't have any cabinets that match these counter cabinets. So I wasn't really sure what to do about that, but I don't think it's like a major enough difference that I had to delete it, because I felt like if it didn't have the cabinets up there, then it would look really empty and really awkward and kind of like, So, yeah. But I also really did like enjoy experimenting with this kitchen specifically, because I tend to make more open kitchens most of the time. So this one was kind of different for me to do, as I don't usually put the sink on the other half of the kitchen. I don't usually use coffee makers either, just because when you're actually playing the game, they're kind of annoying to have your sim constantly drinking coffee even when they're not like low on energy. I don't know, I just find it really aggravating. but the person that I imagined living in this house was definitely caffeine addicted. Definitely like probably either a Gen Z or a millennial. Um, just somebody that would kind of definitely actually drink a lot of coffee. So I did actually already make a sim for this house, and she's loosely based on the YouTuber that this house is based on, I guess, or like the room that this is based on, like that YouTuber's room. I hope you know what I mean. Basically, the YouTuber that it's based off of, it's loosely based on her. Like the actual sim itself is loosely based on her. The sim's name is Katie as well, but I don't think that the traits are exactly the same as what the real YouTuber's traits would be like. And that's fine because, I mean, it's not meant to be an exact replica of her, but it's just to have someone to play with in this house, really. As far as this build goes, I do feel like there's a lot of empty space in the living room over there. Just by the entryway mostly. I didn't really know how to minimize that without doing like a I don't really know what those entryways are called. A foyer maybe. Uh, I didn't really want to add one of those in this house though. Like I felt like it would have looked really out of place considering the like mostly modern vibe that I'm going for with it. So I just kind of left it how it was. And I know we're not focused on the living room right now. We're kind of looking at the dining room at the moment. But I just thought that I would mention that. And as far as this dining room, I feel like it was a little bit modern, but also like a little bit not older, but I feel like the decorating was like a little bit of an older house vibe, but I mean, that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like maybe it was a little bit out of place, but not completely. Also super proud of myself for not only using white walls in this build, I used even an accent wall in that bedroom. That's kind of why I think that I built this. Just seeing the accent wall in the bedroom is really what made me be like, wow, that would be super cute for a sim to live in. So I just built off of that and I was just like, wow, this is gonna be super nice for a little sim to like enjoy life in. Maybe they work from home. I think that's what I'm gonna make the sim do. Like the sim that I made for this house, I think I'm gonna make them work from home. I don't know if they should be a writer or if maybe they will be a YouTuber. I don't really think there's enough space for the like YouTuber setup that came with Get Famous, but if I wanted to, I could turn that guest bedroom that I'm working on into a YouTuber studio. And if you were wanting to work with this house, you could also. I also just realized I never put a window in this bedroom. And like I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that qualifies a bedroom as a bedroom is adding windows. So I think maybe I need to go back and add a window to this bedroom. Wow, I cannot believe that I totally glossed over that. Like that's why it looks so dull in there. That's terrible. Ah, yes, the roof, my least favorite part of every single build ever. I cannot do roofs. Like I literally tried to build such a cute house one day and it turned out terribly just because the roof would not cooperate and I just don't know how to do the roofs very well, like at all. It's very upsetting, honestly, but that's totally okay. We're kind of getting near the end of the build now. I did actually use some patio furniture that I've never used before because it's from that little free kit that we got. So yeah, I just wanted to use that because I was like, this would be really cute because I do imagine the sim having friends over And that's why I kind of thought of the guest bedroom, because I was like, this person definitely has a bunch of friends that they probably invite over, and maybe they need to stay the night sometimes. So, yeah, this is definitely a popular sim, I would think. Probably someone who's outgoing. I don't think that's one of the traits that I picked for the sim, but that's okay. That's just a general idea of how I imagine this sim being. But yeah, so I wanted to fill space, so I did build a pool. I wasn't originally intending to build a pool, but I did, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, your sim can have a lot of fun in a pool, and they can gain their little active or athletic skill or whatever it's called. I really don't remember like half of the things and like traits and all of the different things in the Sims just because I haven't consistently played in a while. Like, I just go through phases of playing and then not playing. But anyway, since we're pretty much at the end of the house now, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!